All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Business Line Podcast. Today's recording is happening on Thursday, April 24th, 2025. I'm your host, Brian Collins. We've got some guests like usual with us today. Declan is actually on the mic and headphones. So, Deck, how you doing this morning, bud? Just fine.
Sleepy,
That's
but
it.
I'm fine.
I know, man. I could not shake the sleepiness out of you. We're getting prepped this morning. You're just like falling asleep in this chair over here. I was tempted to record you, but I didn't.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome, bud. You're welcome. He's going to be controlling the switcherooskies all through the show today. Who else we got? Matt, of course, from Pivot Studios. How you doing today, bud?
Doing good, doing good. Happy draft day, Brian.
Happy draft day, Matt.
Yeah.
And this is where it all begins for the teams, right? This is where championships are made. Huh. And last but certainly not least, the newest member of our team, Harshit. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Just learning some new skills and like working
Awesome, man.
whole day.
Awesome. Super excited to have you on the team. Of course, I can't wait to see some of your first kind of fruits of your labor being on the team, editing the show and getting them released this week's episodes and stuff. So can't wait to see those. All right, let's get right into it, everybody. Time goes fast, and let's use everybody's time wisely. All right, what we're going to be covering today? Well, we're going to hit on meeting that I had yesterday and kind of the business section and how things are going. So I had a good meeting to talk about and how that went, and love to get some of the crew's feedback on what their thoughts are. We're gonna check in with Doge. We haven't been over to Doge in a while. Dak, hope you're ready to scoot over to Doge in a little bit. It's been like 2 weeks since I've looked at the site, and we can't sleep on what they're doing because hey, they're saving us all money. We're the taxpayers here in the U.S., and let's make sure our money's going to good stuff. Third, we're gonna do a quick recap of NBA playoff stuff that happened last night. NHL, we're gonna get the NHL in there a little bit and cover a little bit of the draft. What's happening today? So I got a time lapse video over the last week in Green Bay from on top of Lambeau. We'll take a look at that real quick. I'll comment on the little bit I know about that area from spending some time there over the years, and then I want to talk a little bit about what I've got going on here pretty soon in my life, which is baseball starting up. So, going to be coaching 7th and 8th grade boys, technically boys going into 9th grade too, playing hardball this summer. It's my second year of coaching. So, talk about a few of my mistakes from last year and some of the things I'm doing to try to rectify those situations. So, hey, let's get into it. All right. So, yesterday, I took a trip down to south side of Milwaukee in a little kind of suburb called St. Francis, real close to the port of Milwaukee off of Lake Michigan. A lot of industries down there. We were having a network assessment with a packaging company here in Wisconsin. This is a meeting set up by none other than Big Bobby G from Arsenal Business Growth. Shout out to you again, my friend. Keep up the great work. A little aside about Bobby G, you guys. I had kind of a monthly review meeting with Bobby's supervisor. His name's Joe, and we're kind of just going over all the meetings we've had so far. I haven't closed any deals. That's on me since all those, but I'm getting used to kind of the caliber of stuff that's been coming in, and so Bobby has been with them maybe 6 months now, and we were his first kind of outside client other than him doing calls to set up new clients for Arsenal. And he's got a portfolio of a couple of clients now. But Joe was telling me typically their highest performers for booking meetings book about 20 meetings a month for their the package of clients that they might be. They might have 2, 3, 4 clients, sometimes more. But their best performers typically book in 20 appointments a month. And honestly, guys, that's crazy good. I don't know if any of you guys, Matt, if you've ever, you got your own business, you probably cold called a lot.
Yep.
It's painful, right? It can be tough. You can be,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just saying one of my first jobs out of school before I went full time with Pivot was I was in sales, cold calling, and for the logistics industry. And man, just like you were saying, it's brutal. It's a grind. It's a different type of individual that can, number one, have the grit to do it, but to be successful at it. I mean, I hear that 20 a month, and I'm like, holy crap, that is pretty crazy. That's wild for cold calling. In my
So,
opinion,
so last month, Bobby did over 40. for his clients.
That's absurd. You're a killer, Bobby. If you're a killer.
I know. Man, we need to make like a Bobby G trophy for people who are just killing it, right? I mean, he was telling me he got their MB. They do these meetings every month where they kind of bring in their whole staff into and they sit them down and they review how things are going and they give out rewards. He got the MVP award, so I'm glad he's on our side for sure. But anyway, back to yesterday. So I had this meeting that he set up, and this wasn't his setup. He set up the original a couple weeks back before I went out. I was down helping my wife these last 2 weeks, but we went on vacation for a few days before that. And we were in Wisconsin Dells, and I walked back to my truck, did a meeting for my truck with these guys, and it went pretty well. So we set up a network assessment. That's what we did yesterday, a network assessment. So I brought my business partner, Joe. He's kind of the technical brain behind the business. And we had a great meeting. We use a tool called Network Detective to do a kind of a scan of local network, and it went across their their cloud network and their local, and they're very much set up to be doing things out of the cloud, which is refreshing to see someone really attacking that type of IT setup. But they're just not happy with the support they're getting and from their current provider. So that's why we were there looking a little bit deeper, learned a lot. Kind of had an opportunity to really, open up and get the person we were meeting with to just have a little bit more trust and be a little bit more open about the things they're spending money on and how much they're spending, because I really try to create a relationship in these meetings where people trust me and they don't have to feel like we're adversaries in this process, right? Because he was like, "Hey, I don't want to tell you too much about what I'm spending because then you'll just try to get as close to that as possible." And I go, "That's one way to look at it. But if I don't have an idea of what you're spending or what your budget is, truthfully, then I'm gonna build something for you, but it could be so far outside of what you're able or willing to spend that we're just wasting each other's time. So you kind of give me a ballpark, and I'll tell you if I think we can be there, and then just trust the process." So we talked through a lot of that, and I think that went really good. And we are tentatively set to go back down there. So it's about an hour away from our office, so I'm not going to make them come all the way. Usually, closer client opportunities, we try to get them to come into our office and sit down. We roll out the red carpet for them. We feed them food and, give them a tour, introduce them to employees so they know that we're not just people working in our, parents' basement or something. And, but we'll go back down there and we'll present to them in about 2 weeks. It's going to take a little bit of time for these guys because they got such a weird kind of setup. Not weird, just different. And the way they've got like 50 people on, or kind of on regular laptops, but they're strictly working fully out of the cloud. And then they've got like another 60 computers that are set up as kiosks on like forklifts and stuff around all 3 of their facilities because they're packaging and warehousing and they're moving around. So I have these kiosks on Surface tablets set up to where an employee jumps on a forklift, scans their little ID card on the little scanner, and then it pops them into the computer, and whatever the work they're doing, moving things around on the forklift, goes into this program that the guy we met with developed. So it's a cool meeting, good opportunity. Really, really excited. Hope we win that deal. Hopefully I don't screw that up, being out of the game for a couple weeks, I'm a little rusty. So, no, but seriously, I think we've got the workings of the start to a good relationship. The person we met with seems like a really cool dude, very smart, knows his stuff. He's a software guy, but he's responsible for this good-sized company's infrastructure, and he's done a really good job with kind of limited support from their third party to put something together for them that works. He just needs someone like us to make sure when their teams are struggling or he's struggling, he has somebody he can count on and count on fast. So that was a good one. Any thoughts? I know it's kind of weird listening to me talk about IT prospects when, you guys aren't in what I'm doing, but
I think that's super interesting. I think it's cool. I'm honestly still caught up on Bobby's how many meetings he's able to book. That's
Right.
still just super impressive to me. That's just crazy because I don't know, even when he got on the call here, I mean, you could just tell his persona, his energy. I mean, that's just great. So no, just shout out to him and no, that's awesome. And Yeah, kinda like you were saying, I'm in the same boat right now because we're kind of doing some email, marketing, and I'm getting back into the kind of the sales arena, and it is sales is one of those things, like, you just gotta get in those meetings, keep doing it repetition. Because even like you said, even after 2 weeks, or for me, it's been a couple months since I've been, in sales calls regularly. Man, you really are a little rusty. You gotta kinda get back
Oh,
into that
yeah.
mode.
Yep. Yep, and you really have to have, and I think this is maybe what Bob has, is this, it doesn't matter approach. He doesn't, I don't think he takes offense to no's, or I don't think he gets, bogged down by voicemails or people not answering the phone or gatekeepers and stuff. I think he's just like, "Oh, well, whatever, next," "Next,
Yep.
next, next." And that's really what you have to do to stay after it. So, um, just to another thing to kind of point out in these kind of relationships, one of the things I'm going to work at doing better. And Joe, when I met with him from Arsenal yesterday, he's like, "Hey, um, you know, you can use Bob for a lot more than what you're doing, and I think that'll bring you guys better and help you coordinate things better." I'm like, What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, like you've had all these meetings, and some of them have been kind of dead fish or no fruit kind of things, but some of them are kind of just you push them down the road a little bit because they're not ready or whatever." s- you know, get Bob involved on kind of the post. I'll go in and I'll put post notes in their system so they can get them involved. Like maybe have a huddle at the end of the week, talk to him about those things, and he can put those back on his calendar to follow up on, or ones that you meet with, present to, get an agreement in their hands, and they're just not. Maybe they're ghosting, or maybe they've gotten busy. Instead of you having to remember to follow up with those guys, put it back on Bob and he'll follow up and get it. And if it warms up again, he'll get it back on your calendar. So, when you get, this is my fault. When you get busy with things and not used to having someone like Bob in my corner, I'm like, duh, that's super smart, Joe. I'm going to do that. So I set up a meeting. I think we're going to do meetings on Fridays, to review the past weeks, what he's been working on, what he's set up, and then talk about what's in the pipeline, and then talk about what his plan is for the next week. So yeah, ways to improve. I mean, if you set up vendor relationships, keep in contact with them. Don't just set up, expect them to work, and wonder why a month down the road you don't know what's going on if you're not really paying attention. So that's on me. All right, next segment. Oh yeah, Doge. Dak, let's go over to doge.gov. DOGE. That'd be cool to have a little sound bite with like a room full of people like chanting DOGE. I kind of think of like if like if you've ever watched the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. I don't know, Matt. You ever watch the Wheel of Fortune? Parents or anything growing up?
Yeah, I used to watch Wheel Fortune. The one that I really got into, and they also the game of it too, like in the arcades. Deal or No Deal with Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
That was that was my go to grow up game show. I loved Deal or No Deal.
And when I was a kid, my foster parents, they were in their 60s when I lived with them. They always watched, like, it was religiously at night. It was, Jeopardy would start it off, and it was kind of like the warm up to game show time. You'd kind of watch it, but it kind of made you feel dumb. So unless you were really into it, you just kind of had it on. And it was Wheel of Fortune. But then earlier in the day, because they were retired, it was Price is Right.
Yeah, Price is Right.
Price is Right was, and I loved Price is Right. And like the school year, I didn't get to watch it, but summertime, I'd watch it with them. I loved Price is Right. Good old Bob
Yep.
Barker back in the day. All right. All right. What do we got? Let's roll back. I asked ChatGPT to kind of summarize what's been going on in the last couple weeks, in the world of the DOGE, and we're gonna put it to the test. Because it talked about, uh, what did it say here? New permit turnaround benchmarks, online license renewal. I just realized I put the paper in front of my face. It's probably not a good idea. Online license renewal system rolled out in 3 new states. Digital communication upgrades for small agency workflows. Let's see if we go back in time on doge.gov. Let's see how back to like Jen had her surgery on the 7th of April. What do we got here? Starting on the 7th. All right. Starting on the 7th, it looks like. Under previous admin, the State Department made DEI 20% of Foreign Service officer performance, assessing diplomats by whether they avoided gendered adjectives or what they call it, faint praise. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Faint praise. Or asked local organizations to promote DEI training programs, lecture, and annual DEIA. Listen, I don't think those things have a whole lot to do with our foreign policies. So I'm glad that's done. So good job, Doge. Any opinions on that kind of stuff? I know we all don't like to get too controversial here. I don't mind it, but I mean, I'm a merit guy. And I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you sound like. I care about you as a person, you know? I don't care how long your hair is. I don't care how much you weigh. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl. I don't care, whatever. If you got skills and you get results, then you can be on my team.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
I'm on the complete same page as you. The best person. You got the grit. I don't care what you believe, what you do. It's just if you can get the job done and you're good at it, I want you in my corner.
And to some degree, I mean, and to a big degree, if you don't have the skills yet, but you've got, like you said, the grit and the hunger, and you've got, you want to get after it, you can be on my team too. You might start at a lower, position or pay level when it comes to work, but I'll bring you on if you get after it. You know what I mean? So, this stuff about immutable characteristics that a person has or that they're born with or whatever, I mean, I don't think that has any place in this kind of stuff when it comes to profession. All right. Let's see. Important historic reforms. Now our incredible foreign service officers will be evaluated on true merit, not on arbitrary things. So that's more DEI stuff. Yeah, an arbitrary immutable characteristics. That's great. 7th again, U.S. African Development Foundation has terminated 51 million in grants, including over 200,000 in marketing for 100% organic shea butter in Burkina Faso. I don't know, man. I don't know. Almost over $85,000 for a business incubator for a spa and wellness entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Okay, 240 grand for marketing pineapple juice in Benin. I don't get it. What are we doing?
So does that mean they're marketing the pineapple juice, or it's pineapple juice that helps you be better at marketing? I'm like, is it like, hey, drink this marketing juice? Or I guess they're selling pineapple juice.
Yeah, maybe there's something to say. We're gonna market. Maybe are we a big exporter of pineapple juice? And so we need to market it in Benin on the continent of Africa in order to sell more to them or something. I don't know. But that sounds
Yeah.
like
Pineapples are grown, okay, Central and South America, Asia, and the US. So I guess we do grow some pineapples here in the
okay.
US.
But I mean, is it really the African Development Foundation's job? Or should it be their job to do marketing for the US? I mean, it's not the US government selling that stuff. It's private companies, you know?
Yeah.
So that's anyway. Drink more apple, yay.
Better. If it's just I can make you better at marketing, I'll drink it though. I'll drink that.
Pineapple propaganda. Like I can see like US flags and pineapples. As long as they're not upside down, Like when you don't know about that, but let's just not.
That's a whole different story. Don't go near those homes.
Nope, stay away. All right. Before it goes down the wrong place. Okay. RT at Rapid Response 47. NBC goes inside the literal underground mine where a few hundred federal employees process all retirement. Imagine being that employee. Like you got to check into the mine. It's like, no, what do you do for? I work in a mine. Oh, you like a coal miner or something? That's tough work. No, I work for the government for retirement. Planning. You got to go on a. Yep, yeah, they got to hide us down there. No sunshine, no nothing. Wow. Okay. Doge is working to make it more modern, efficient, and cost effective. I wonder how that turned out. All right, great partnership with DHS.gov. Another win for Doge. The U.S. CG eliminated. I don't know what the USCG is. Deck, can you figure what that is? The USCG eliminated an ineffective IT program. All right, saving nearly $33 million, and is now focusing its resources where they're most needed to protect our homeland. Interesting. USCG. I don't know what that is. Or Coast Guard. All right. U.S. Coast Guard had a $33 million contract with an ineffective IT program. Okay, cool. Let's see. Since January 20th, the USGA has been working to right-size the federal real estate portfolio, which is liable for more than $20 billion in deferred maintenance. So far, the team has sold 13 buildings and listed an additional 68. Wow. Do me a favor, Deck. Open up a new tab and type in U.S. federal properties for sale. Government property for sale or lease. All right, click that. Go to real property. Scroll down. Is it so like? I mean, like, are these things on the MLS? We can just like go to what is it, Zillow or something, and check out what, because maybe there's some like really cheap property for sale. Why don't you check this out? Everybody looking to snatch up some property. Let's see if there's some good government buildings we can buy. All right, hit me up if you guys want to get in on a deal together. Okay. Back to Doge. I was wanted to see if there was like a list of things we could actually see buildings and where. Anyway, okay. Contract update. In at least 2 agencies terminated 108 wasteful contracts with a ceiling value of $205 million. Cha-ching! And savings of $70 million, including a $14,000 HHS Health and Human Services Gov contract for an executive transformational leadership training program. Executive transformational leadership training program. You know what I've found over the years? The longer the name of the training program, the more useless it is. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yep.
And a $5.2 million USOPM contract to provide. It's cut off. I'm gonna have to click on it. I don't know what it's going to provide. What? To provide? I don't know. Let's see. Hopefully it goes right to it. To provide. Man, X is taking a long time to load up. Here we go. Strategic advisory and assistance to improve and transform current processes and organizational systems. Wow. So here's another thing. The longer the contract name, the more useless it probably is. Provide strategic advisory and assistance to improve and transform current process and organizational systems. Yeah, if they paid $5.2 million for that, it didn't work. That's like literally what Doge is doing. Okay. All right. On the website, this is for Department of Government Efficiency. On the website, login button was not in the top right on the nav bar like it is on most websites. It was weirdly placed in the middle of the page below the fold. An IRS engineer explained that the soonest this change could get deployed is July. So this is on the RS. Right? So it must be like the IRS website to log in. It's like the login button is in this weird. And for anybody who doesn't know, below the fold means when you load up a web page, whatever shows up right away on your screen is what's called above the fold. So when you're developing pages, you want to account for most popular resolutions, the type of device, the type of screen or whatever, and major content that you want people to focus on or to engage with, you want above the fold. the more someone has to scroll down to find something, the more they're going to give up and not do anything because we have no attention span. So in this case, what they're saying is, hey, why is this login button somewhere below the fold where people can't find it? Why not? Let's put it in the top right of the page. Well, okay. I mean, with any website, anybody with a half an inkling, if you can log into it and move, you can figure out how to move it around in a day or less, even if you have no experience. And they're saying, well, we can't do that until July. This is the kind of attitude and approach to things that it's like, it's just silly. It's almost comical. It reminds me of the movie Office Space is what it does, you know?
It's just the basics of the UI UX design. That login button should be in a visual place that a user can easily find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And to tell somebody, oh, the soonest we could get that updated is July? Really? Is it?
It's just a few lines of code that has to be changed.
Yeah. And okay, so let's just assume that this is all built, in, let's say, HTML or something, and it's not using, like Elementor or WordPress or something like that, where someone could go into a user interface and just kind of switch where it shows up. Because they're widgets. You take the widget from here and put it up there or something. But in this case, apparently not until July. They must have to have some meetings, and they have to do some committee meetings, and then they have to get approval and submit paperwork in triplicate. And then once those are approved, they have to sit down again and have another meeting to make sure that, the person who's doing it has clearance. I don't know. I'm just being super silly. But yeah. Anyway, okay. There's more to cover for sure. Lots been happening. Let's go to the most recent one because we're going to run out of time here. And I got to be in about 15 minutos. Latest one, great work by Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Justice Department. Department of Justice has started cutting millions of dollars of wasteful grants. Some of these grants include, is that this one? Oh, no, they just posted a new one? Okay. $2 million for national listening sessions of individuals with lived experience. Okay. $695K for a parallel convergent mixed methods case study research design to something I'm not going to click on and say, let's just refresh this. Contract and grant update. Over the last several days, agencies have terminated 269 wasteful contracts with a ceiling value of $845 million and savings of $255 million, including $50,000 at Interior Consulting contract to provide facilitation and collaborative problem-solving services. Cool. All right, keep it up, Doge. Glad we're getting caught up there. All right, let's jump into a quick sports recap. NBA playoffs are going on, NHL playoffs are going on. NFL draft starts today. So what happened last night real quick? Cavs beat the Heat 121-112. They're leading 2-0 there. Cavaliers look like they're in a different kind of league right now when it comes to playing against the Heat. Heat did a better job. I watched the highlights. Did a better job of keeping up throughout the game. They just couldn't keep it up all game long. Celtics beat the Mavs. They're up 2-0. It was a much closer game this time around. Actually, Mavericks got out to an early lead. I thought they might pull it off. Rockets came back and tied the series 1-1. Beat the Warriors 109-94. So that was a statement game from them. I mean, they needed to pull a win off at home before they have to go back to Golden State because that's going to be a tough environment to play in. But yeah, that was a good game. NHL playoffs. Stars beat the Avalanche 2-0. Stars are up 2-1. Capitals beat the Canadiens 3-1. Caps lead 2-0. Kings beat the Oilers. I thought they scored 6. Maybe they only scored 5. 5-2. It says on here. I thought they got 6, but that was a crazy game. The Kings jumped out to like a 3-0 lead in the beginning of that game, and you could just tell they weren't gonna be looking back. All right, real quick, NFL draft coming up. Deck, I gotta he helped me create a cool little picture. So Green Bay is right in our backyard. It's just a half an hour north of where I lived, right up the highway, and been to this area many times. That'd be cool if they had a live cam over that whole new park area they made, Deck, right? With the, like, the sledding hill and that whole outside turf field and that park. That would be cool. I bet you they got a lot of cool stuff going on there for the draft. But right behind me here, we set up a little video. We found a time lapse of the last 7 days. A camera on top of Lambeau Field, pointing out over a main part of the parking lot where they do a lot of setup of special like vendors, and there's like a big beer tent and stuff. And this is not by no means completely representative of the chaos that's going to be happening down there starting today. But Deck, why don't you hit play on this real quick and show the full of people very shortly. What time is it right now? It's almost 10 o'clock here where I'm at. So it's a beautiful day today. I think it's going to be a good day for the start of the draft. Hey, everybody, if you're going, you're watching, you're going to be there. Be safe, have fun. Don't start any trouble. Not too much trouble, at least. Anyway, what real quick? I think who's got the number 1 pick? Is it Titans?
Yeah, it's the Titans, and then who's second? The Browns are second.
Browns are second. I think we got a tab up real quick, Deck. When you see that NFL draft tab, there's 2 of them. Just put the first one. Yeah, there we go. So Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots. So funny to see Patriots at number 4. You know how the mighty have fallen. Jags and Raiders rounding out the top 6. I don't know what way do you think the Titans are going to go, Matt?
What is it? I think who is it that they were saying? I think for the first pick, I think they're gonna go with a quarterback. I think they're thinking Cam Ward, the old Miami quarterback, and then
Okay.
I think they're thinking Browns will be Travis Hunter.
All right.
That's what I've been looking into a lot of mock drafts. I personally don't know those 2 teams that well, so I don't really know what they need. But as far as some mock drafts, it looks like Miami QB will go 1, Travis Hunter will go 2, and then I think some linemen and things like that after that.
All right, I'm backing you. I'm not putting any money on it, but let's see what happens. Let's check back in tomorrow and see where things are at and see how things are shaking down. Cool. Well, I originally had one more thing to talk a little bit about. I think I'm going to save that tomorrow. We're running a little long here, and I got a couple things I got to scoot to get done for the day. But tomorrow we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about what it's like coaching, youth baseball. This is my 2nd year. I learned a lot last year, and I'm going to cover some of the mistakes I made. And what I want to do this year to do a better job for the guys that I'm helping out. All right. That being said, let's wrap this thing up today. Deck, thank you so much for your help. Matt, as always, thank you for your input, your insight, and your wisdom. Hey, and Harshit, you're doing a great job, man. Thank you for your insight as well, too. And we'll see all you guys again tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening to the Daily BLP. Take care.